Hi, I'm Splashes, and welcome to episode 3 of Minecraft Maniacs. Today, we start on the creeper farm. In here, we have the base of our first auxiliary tower. I'll go ahead and clear this out and dig way down in order to construct our creeper farm inside of here. First thing we have to do is dig a big hole. But before we do that, I will send you over to a creative world so you can see what we have planned for the creeper farm. Okay, so we're in our creative world. Now you can see my redstone doors from previous video over here, and we're going to be working on trying to make the creeper farm. I have all the stuff I think I will need, and after watching a Mumbo video on observers last night, I think I have an idea. So if I put this observer, oops, I want it to be, oh, right, okay, so they place the opposite direction you think they do. So when this block updates, it should put a signal at the back of here. Now if you put a dispenser here, okay, I am not doing well. I am very confused. How does this work? There we go. Okay, so now if I put a water bucket in here, and I flick this on, it should produce power. Let's see if that works. Yep, and you saw it flicked on for a second, and now I actually don't know if I have a way to turn this off, because I slightly made it so the water could go everywhere. There we go. Now it doesn't touch the redstone spot. And so now if I do this again, oh wait, and it sends another flick, which means I think if I put a dispenser here as well, with the same, or following the same principle, let me just put some wool down so that way I don't make a mess, or make less of a mess. I need another water bucket. And we stick this water bucket in here. Oh, my sound's muted. That's what's going on. So, place this down, and it releases both things of water. Take it out, fire it down again, switch it to two things, and they will turn it off. So if we take that and we combine it with the thing where you have just the water bucket sort of pouring down onto the thing, how it makes this, yeah, okay, well that wasn't in the right spot. Come over here. You put this down, the whole water should spread out, and with that we should be able to use that as a basis for a mob farm. So let that go down. Except we'll have to turn this vertically, and that means we shouldn't need to have any redstone going up and down the middle, so it should be relatively simple. Pop this on. Oh, I know what the two clicks are. The two clicks are because I have two layers that's firing. That's what it is. But that makes it only do the one click instead of doing the 7 or so as the water slowly peters down. And it lets this whole area be a fair amount larger, increasing the spawning space. So we can go ahead and do that and increase the number of layers. I'll probably just stick in 6, but so I built this thing up to 5 levels, and if we pop the wool on here, all the water should come out along each of the things. It fully fills up the stuff, so it should be able to push everything. What's going on over here? Um, this is strange. Let me undo it. Redo it? Okay. I guess I just missed a couple blocks over there. But you can see that the whole thing in our 8x8 rhombus, or is it 17x17? I don't know. But the whole thing fills up, and that gives us a lot of areas for mobs to spawn. Oops. So if we pop it off, everything goes away. Eventually. So the next step is we want to have some way to be able to turn this off. So we're going to be powering this system here with a clock, and that clock will basically just power the thing on, power it off, power it on, power it off, so that way everything keeps coming off. The creepers will be pushed off here, fall down. Well, in reality they'd be falling down lower than this because this is the bottom level. And then water will push them into the center. They'll get stuck on a bunch of magma blocks, so I don't have to use nearly as many hoppers. And the magma blocks will slowly kill all the creepers, and all of their gunpowder should nicely flow into hoppers, which can then flow into a storage chest. And so when that storage chest is full, or when I don't want this farm to be running, I need a way to be able to turn it off. And turn it off to the point that it includes mobs not spawning, because the mobs will still spawn in here, and that'll still create a lot of entities and will create a lot of lag. So what I'm thinking to do is just stick some redstone lamps around. The big thing, though, is I don't know if this redstone lamp, how far it'll be able to reach. So let's find out. That doesn't turn it on. That turns it on. Now if we set this to night, okay, well that took a number of tries, but we now have it actually nighttime. And so this is the furthest out block, and let's see what its light is. Unfortunately, the light is only 6. So we're going to have to try and figure out how we can change that. So after a number of redesigns later, I think I finally have this set up the way that it's going to be. So, same system as before. Observer in the middle. Pop this down. This all flows out. Pop it off. And everything returns back into its buckets. But in order to be able to turn this off, I couldn't just have the redstone lamps here at the end, because it just didn't give enough light, and there was no place I could put the redstone lamps that I could have easy access to the redstone that wouldn't cause a problem. So what I've gone ahead and done is I have used pistons with a column of glowstone, so that when you press this button, and this would be hooked up to an automatic system so everything would fire at once, pushes this up, and now everything is lit up, which means that inside of here no mobs are able to spawn, because nowhere does the light level get to 7 or lower, which is why when you come over to here we have this stuff with the double we have this stuff with the double signs, because this level was at 7 and this one was at 6, and I didn't want to have to also put redstone lamps along the walls. It just felt like a mess. Turning the system off, just go ahead and do the opposite. Have these pistons push everything down. The glowstone goes back into its little holes, and now the whole system is ready for mobs to spawn. Since this will be a creeper farm, we do need to have these blocks here, which should prevent the spawning of spiders, and then along the ceiling here we will have to just cover it in trapdoors. So because we have the lighting system with the pistons, it means that every 4 levels, I think, we will need to have a service floor, so that way we can basically start up another line of pistons. And to connect those two things, if we can just use a line of observers, and everything should be fine. And we will probably have to make a line of observers going into the into the service floors to make sure that we're able to connect everything up. But with that, we can now go ahead and get started on the actual thing. So I figured while this time lapse was going on, I would just talk for a little bit. So what I'm planning on doing with this creeper farm is using it to open up a fireworks store. Another one of the players on the server, Melvin, had a similar idea, and we tried to see if we could work out some sort of cooperative agreement between us, but we didn't really get anywhere, and then he went off his own and made his own store before we ever came to an agreement, so I don't think that's going to be happening, and I guess we'll be competing against each other. In addition, the store I'm going to have will sell redstone components, as well as services for making redstone contraptions and custom trees and such, since that's something I can do. Also, you might have noticed that the view changed because we had to break it up into a couple bits, and the first time I wasn't able to be in spectator mode. I had to be in survival, but fortunately we were able to go to sleep fast enough each time and I didn't die.
Oh, I hear something.
That's a phantom! Come on! Climb faster! No!
Oh god, there's like 5 of them up there. Oh.
And that is the hole finished. About 20,000 blocks. Actually, it only took me about 4 hours. I think this is the largest borehole I've ever made. And certainly the fastest, because this only took me about 4 hours. And really the first hour I had Hybrid's help. But I've always used iron picks. I've never had efficiency on something, or in breaking for that matter. Just really anything. I've just been using iron picks. So I'm really happy with how it's went. Some vines have grown on the wall. I did wind up dying twice by accident. I fell off this ladder once, and another time I just walked off the edge of the thing and just died. Also, I've discovered this very strange thing here. Oops. Do it now one. It's just a tunnel, one by one. And it's lit up, so I assume someone had to make it. I just have no idea who, or why, or like what its purpose is. But it is slightly in the way, so it's probably going to get covered up unless someone tells me that it is important quite shortly. I'll try and put 2 noticeable blocks there. Ooh, I can use some of the most disgusting blocks in the game. Jungle planks. And that will tell me that that has something strange behind it. Because nowhere else has jungle planks. I can finally go ahead and break this bed, and hopefully for the last time. Except for, yeah, I'm probably going to need to have it a couple times when I go and make the actual creeper farm. And fortunately, I did find out that the actual creeper farm will fit in here, because that 23 wide includes the walls, which we don't have to build additional walls because we already have walls here. So eventually I will be able to get rid of this ladder and put in something faster, because it is slow. It is very slow. But this should at least make it possible for us to, because it means we have this extra little block at the end here, we can actually indent one as well because of the design of the creeper farm. and we can make it that we can put the water elevators, which should allow us to be able to service the thing as we need to, as well as stuff for an observer column, which we can use to trigger the on and off switches. But I am really quite happy and quite excited with this thing. I wonder if there's a way to easily clear off the vines. Maybe I could just use the water bucket. Let me try this and hopefully not die. Especially since I just broke my bed. See, does that break the vines? It's making flashing. Maybe? Well, I'm going to put the bed down before I die. I almost jumped off again. Yeah, that definitely looks like it's clearing the vines to me. Looks like we need another one right here. You know what? In hindsight, I should get over to this side so I can watch it. Yeah, that is definitely clearing off the vines. I'm going to need another one over there. I really need to get an elytra soon. Or something. I'm going to be making tons of rockets. But I can't remember if it was this one or the next one. Just put it in an all tree and just call it a day. Should still break it, right? Yep. That's actually pretty cool to look at. And with that, the hole is now officially done. I do have a lot of diorite and a lot of granite, which kind of sucks. Diorite and granite are just kind of ugly. We could probably use them for floor stuffs, but I'm actually thinking about using... I have a ton of cobblestone here, and I'm thinking about trying to use it where I double cook it into smooth stone. I'll be right back and show you what I'm talking about. So it turns out, smooth stone isn't in the game yet, except in creative mode. So, what I read on the wiki is that you take this normal stone, and you cook it again, and you make smooth stone. And it has a texture very similar to this, but this is on all four sides. So, the floor pattern would look... Oops. Something like that. And I think that will look nice. And last thing I wanted to show you is that I upgraded my fish farm. So this is my AFK fish farm, and this, as you see, is same as it was before. Cast your line on here, does the same thing. But I've made all of these chests sequential instead of parallel. So before, you had basically a line of hoppers, or column of hoppers, that dump stuff into a column of chests. What this does is it goes from here to here, drops into a hopper to here, then goes whoop, 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 comes down here, goes over here. There's a hopper down underneath this one, which goes down into here, which drops this into a hopper, and into this dispenser. And what this lets me do, or what this lets me does, what this means is that what I can do is, after I've finished a night, and a night fills up almost all of these chests. Last night the top one was open, or not open, was empty still. but it lets me fill up basically all of these chests in a night. And I can go through each night, or in the morning, grab the books, leather, ink sacks, basically any particularly relevant or valuable things that I want. And then when I'm done, oh, there goes that granite. Okay, that's fine. And when I'm done, I have a dispenser here that we just go ahead and take a redstone out of here, plop it down, and it activates this dispenser. Actually, this is a dropper, correction. So like if you put stuff in here, it empties right out and gets spat out from the dropper and goes down into the lava and gets deleted. And that lets me get rid of all that other stuff, which is pretty nice. But no, I totally didn't die by trying to get myself in the right position and falling off this very large tower. That is absolutely not what happened. I think that's going to wrap up episode 3 of Minecraft Maniacs. Tomorrow, building the creeper farm starts. Bye bye!